Duh.
What the? Wow. Jun looks at Jin, who stood in front of him. He was shining, according to Jun. In reality, it was the sun shining behind Jin, which almost made it impossible for Jun to see him. Oh my god, Namjin, did I startle you? Jin offers Jun his hand, who looks at the hand and then at Jin. Jun
was too stunned to speak.
Did I forget to mention that Jin was wearing a formal suit with his hair styled in a vintage look? His body was more bulked up, and his face was rougher compared to the Jin we know. Not to mention, the suit did no justice to hide our WWH's physique.
Jun felt like he was all over in love again. Namjin. Jin was still holding out his hand for Jun to take. Yeah? Oh yeah, sorry. Jun took Jin's hand and stood up. He felt embarrassed, thinking that Jin had caught him staring in 4K. Are you ready to go? What? Yeah. Okay, come let's go. Jun was in total awe seeing the horse carriage in front of him, but nevertheless followed Jin. Jin first got inside the horse carriage as Jun hesitantly did the same. Let's go, Jin said to the Cushman as the ride started.
A few inches later.
Uncomfortable. Intimidating. Awkward. These are the words Namjin could use now if you ask him to describe his ride with Jin. Uncomfortable. They were still on the carriage, and whoever made eye contact with Jun from outside didn't miss the chance to glare at him. Some even cursed him. Some eyes were jealous, while some were just full of hate. Intimidating. There was something different about Jin's gaze that made Jun feel intimidated whenever they made eye contact. Long gone was the Jin who was his cute and feisty boyfriend. This Jin could only be described by the word strong and powerful. Awkward. Well, no one spoke a word since they got on the vehicle, as Jin was occupied with reading his case file. Jun felt like he was in American interviews again with the amount of awkwardness that surrounded him. Jun finally gathered his courage. Where are we going? Jun asks Jin, who looks up from his files. To the auction house. Jun remembered Jackson telling him something about an auction and Tung. Isn't Tung there? Jin raised an eyebrow at him. Tung? Yes, Tung. Jun couldn't understand why Jin was looking at him with a frown. Your young master's painting is getting auctioned today, as you may or may not know. We are going to attend the event but not for that occasion, Jun said as he continued to study the case file in his hands without waiting for Jun's reply. Jun only then noticed something. Jin behaved differently from how he was yesterday. Yesterday he was caring, sweet, patient, still powerful. He even blushed at certain times with him. But today, he looks nothing but powerful. There was no sign of warmth in him. He looked stressed and tense, according to Jun. Is everything okay? Jin looks at him from the files with a raised eyebrow. Do I look not okay? No. No, not that, it's just. You look nervous. Kinda. Jun didn't expect a sarcastic laugh from Jin. I am the best lawyer around here. I don't get nervous, Namjin. Nor am I supposed to look nervous. If I did, I would be thrown out to the trash the very next moment. Jun was confused by Jin's words, as he didn't know that Jin was talking about how he had to look strong and take difficult decisions just so no one in the town would take him for a weak man. The room fell into another awkward silence as Jun continued to look out the window, not having the courage to look at Jin's eyes. My lord, we are here. The carriage stopped in front of a huge building. Jun was in complete awe seeing the beautiful architecture of the building. He got snapped out of his thoughts when We are here to discuss business. I know you don't remember anything about your past. But it was your biggest dream to build a restaurant of your own. You have everything you need to build one except the permission from the town heads. You and I had a talk last week, and it was you who asked for my help to arrange a meeting with Mr. Richard to discuss the tax policy and restaurant license. He is only back in town during yearly auctions as he is one of the main sponsors. I see. June was quick to analyze the situation. Mr. Richard is a very influential person who is surprisingly also one of many who holds morals. If he approves, then before you know it, you would be a restaurant owner. Namjin. Jin said while taking out his gun from his suitcase and keeping it in his vest. Whoa, why the hell do you have a gun? Jin didn't reply as he only gave June a small smile. For security purposes. Jin shrugged as he got out of the carriage, as June followed him. Not to sound ungrateful or something, but I don't remember a damn thing from my past. I don't even know how to boil water in here, so how do you expect me to own a restaurant if this Mr. Richard approves? You don't remember, but I remember how much you worked hard to have your own restaurant. Even if you don't remember anything now, it would be unfair to the hours of hard work you spent all these years and to all the sacrifices you made. Don't worry, Namjuna, if we get the approval, I am sure Jackson won't mind running the restaurant until you get back on track. Though he doesn't seem very interested in taking the lead. He would manage. I have a very strong hope that you will get your memory back, Namjuna. And once you do, you would thank me for this. Jun says as they enter the building, and June follows him while calculating and analyzing the situation. As they walked in the main door, the guards around them greeted Jin while ignoring June like he wasn't even there. You are famous around here. You can say that. In a few seconds, they reached a crowded hall where many men wearing suits and women wearing fancy gowns stood. June was again in awe of the surroundings. His eyes quickly caught a familiar sight. There stood Jimin and Tang, in the far end of the room. Jin. Look. You would address me as my lord or as sir, Namjin. Namjin could feel his cheeks heating up in embarrassment when he saw a guard next to them give him a mocking smile at Jin's remark. He didn't know if Jin intended to make him feel belittled or was just unfiltered. Okay. Namjin has never felt this insulted, and that too by Jin. He felt the urge to talk back, but he held his tongue back when. It's a pleasure to see you, Lord Sukjin. A man in his 30s came towards them, or more like towards Jin. Looks like all that fuss was for nothing, I see. Here you are being a good older brother, showing your support to him even after all that shame he bought you. June didn't know the context here, but the way the guy smiled mockingly at Jin didn't sit well with him. I am here for something personal, Mr. Dave, so if you excuse me. Of course, it's personal. After all, it's you who brought this much hype to your brother's paintings. Now I know how he sells his useless paintings. June expected Jin to talk back, but he didn't even move a nail. Jin just stood there and stared at Dave with a blank look. Tell me, Lord Sukjin, how much did they bargain to let your morally challenged brother sell his painting here again? Jin's face, for the first time, showed an emotion, and that was laughter. June was flabbergasted. He expected Jin to punch this guy for the way he was talking about him, but here was Jin laughing without any hint of humor in it. June has never heard Jin fake laugh this hard. Mr. Dave, I never knew you were this much of a comedian. Jin continued to laugh, which now made June concerned. We'll continue our little conversation once we get outside. But for now, I'll take my leave. Jin pats Dave's shoulder and walks forward like nothing happened, but June saw Dave wince in pain from the harsh pats. He quickly follows Jin again. He noticed that the crowd made way for Jin while some greeted him. Not to mention, all the ladies there were straight up ogling at him. At the same time, June also didn't fail to notice the dirty looks thrown at him. What did I do? June mumbled when a woman, probably in her 20s, looked at him from head to toe in disgust. Good afternoon, Mr. Richard. How is your day? Jun almost choked on air when he saw who Mr. Richard really was. Bang PD Nim. Jin coughs to cover up Jun's outburst before asking, "How is your day, sir? Could have been better if I hadn't gotten to know certain events that happened in your family." Jin visibly gulps. "People love to gossip, Mr. Richard, and it would be just foolish to put your trust into it." Mr. Richard chuckles. "Last time I heard that was from your father when he was rumored to have Lola." Jin visibly cringes but still gives a little laugh at that. "Don't be so hard on your brother. That kid deserves nothing but love." This wipes off Jin's smile. He's happy, and that's all that matters. "How is your health, Mr. Richard? I heard that you were. Did you just try to change the topic?" "No, Mr. Richard, Oh, greetings, didn't see you there," Richard said when he got a glimpse of Namjin. "Greetings, Mr. Richard, I am Kim Namjin, one of the best chefs in town. If you both are here to meet me, then there must be something for you to say." He takes a sip of his drink. "Or ask." Jin took a deep breath before starting. Namjin here is an extraordinary chef. He has been saving money to start his own restaurant for years. He almost succeeded, but then, you know the tax policy the government implemented last year, right? Because of it, Namjin here can't build his restaurant. He was wondering if I could help him to get the permit to build it. "Yeah." Mr. Richard seems to think for a moment before his eyes again went to Namjin. "Seokjin is doing all the talking for you. I assume you don't have anything to say." Jin panicked, but to his surprise, "Forgive my lack of awareness, Mr. Richard, I was just getting pulled under the sea of nervousness by the thought of having a conversation with someone as noble as you. Mr. Richard, you are my last hope. This restaurant is my dream. You are the only one noble enough to make my dream come true. Help me out, sir. Please." Jun didn't know he had gotten Jin speechless. Mr. Richard, on the other hand, finishes his drink and keeps the cup on the table. "People like you impress me, Namjin. Men like you are the ones who would actually bring change in this society. You have my support, Mr. Namjin. I'll see what I can do regarding this." Mr. Richard offers Jun his right hand, which Jun shakes with a grateful smile. "Thank you, Mr. Richard. I won't disappoint you." "Good. Now can you both go away? I got things to buy in the auction." Mr. Richard literally shooed them off with his hand. "Thank you again, Mr. Richard. Have a great day," Jun says before looking at Jin, who snapped out of his daze. "Have a good day, Mr. Richard," Jin said and walked away towards the exit. But then he stops and looks at Jun. "How come you speak like you know everything in front of Mr. Richard? For a second, I thought I was talking to the old Namjin. How come I know what to speak? I've been your leader for 10 years, Jin. Come on."
"Damn, it feels good to be a gangster,"
Jun thought but didn't dare to say it out loud. "It just came by the flow, sir. Even I aren't sure how I did it, sir. Did I do something, sir?" Jun purposefully added "sir" behind every sentence he spoke, which apparently bothered Jin as his eyes sparked in annoyance for a second, but before Jin could say anything, "Seokjin Hyung. I mean Lord Seokjin?" Jimin came in front of them with red exhausted eyes. "Oh, Namjun Hyung, you were here too." Jimin hugs Namjun to greet him. He moves towards Jin for a hug too but stops midway and moves back. "Did you cry, Jimin?" "It's nothing, Hyung, don't worry about it. Lord Seokjin, you are here. Tae-tung will be jumping in happiness if he got to know you are here, Hyung. Lord Seokjin. He thought you won't come. Some snakes around here even teased him that you disowned him. But you being here for him is like a slap on their faces. Come meet him, Hyung. Lord Seokjin. He is shaking in nervousness. His picture will be auctioned on the 95th slot. Now it is number 93. We still got time. Come meet him, Lord. I am not here to meet him." Jin's words almost got Jimin frozen. He looks at Jin with almost tear-filled eyes. What do you mean? I came here to talk business, not for personal matters. Now if you excuse me, I'll leave now, Lord Jimin. Jin turns and walks towards the door. Jun didn't have any other option but to follow him. But he still managed to give Jimin a small pat on his shoulder before leaving behind Jin. Jun walks behind Jin in silence till Jin stops on his steps when he heard. Item number 94 is here. It's a sculpture made by an unknown artist. The starting bid of this rare piece of art is 40,000. You can start bidding. Jin walks forward but stops again. But this time he turns back to look at the stage where the sculpture was displayed along with the current selling owner standing next to it. Jun focuses his attention fully on studying Jin's expression. It was blank until sold for 80,000 to Lord Anthony. Now we move on to the next item, and that is a painting. Jin's eyes got teary as he focused his attention fully on the stage. Item number 95 is displayed here. The starting bid is 90,000. A drop of tear fell from Jin's eyes when he saw Tae standing next to his painting while fidgeting with his fingers. Jun felt a crack in his heart seeing his tears but still managed to observe the situation. Tae's eyes roamed among the crowd till it reached Jin's figure. Hyung? Jin turns back and walks out of the auction house at the speed of light. Jun follows him. Both could clearly hear the announcer say, "Sold for 2 million to Mr. Dave. Moving on to next." Jin quickly gets in his carriage as Jun follows his action. To the graveyard. Jun says to the coachman.
A few moments later.
Jun closes his eyes and thinks about everything that has happened since he came here. He lets his mind finish the puzzles. So if I am correct, Jin and Tae are from high-class society. Jackson, Jungkook, and I are from the lower class. Jungkook seems like he is very insecure about his class. His constant reminder to me saying he was my superior and I had to respect him, shows that he either doesn't want to look weak in front of me or wants to intimidate me. Oh hell no! This brat. Jun rolls his eyes internally. Coming to Jimin, if I am correct, then he was also from the lower class, but since he is now married to Tae, he now belongs to the higher class. Tae and Jin's family must have been very influential around here, considering all the wealth and respect they possess. Something big happened regarding Jimin and Tae's marriage which has created some sort of bitterness between the Kim brothers. Jackson mentioned something about Jin getting Jimin arrested before. Though Jin looked like he was okay with their relationship inside their house, he pretends that he isn't okay with it for the public's eye. So Jin here cares about his public image a bit more than Tae's feelings. And that is why he avoids Tae and the topics related to him in public. Jun figures out. But what exactly would have possibly happened between them? Jun's thoughts were broken when. Can you stop at the flower shop for a moment, Mr. John?
Meanwhile.
With the men. Tae. Would you not look at me? Tae's gaze didn't rise from the ground, as they walked out of the auction house towards their carriage. Tae Hyunji, look at me. Why are you upset now? Jimin stops Tae midway and hugs him tightly. The event was still going on, but they didn't intend to stay there after their work was done. Tae, won't you talk to me? Say something. Jimin panicked when he felt tears soaking his collar. What happened, Tae? Why are you crying? Jimin hugs him even more tightly. It hurts, Jiminy. What did I do wrong? Why do they love to hurt me like this? Oh Tunji. Don't let their words get to you. Today was supposed to be one of my happiest days but they all turned into one of the worst. My sweet Tae, it's okay. Calm down. Get a room and have some decency, will you both? Dave exclaimed when he saw me and hugging each other. Behind Dave, his butler stood there with a couple of paintings covered protectively in his hands. One of them being Taehyung's. Jimin and Tae broke the hug as Tae quickly wipes away his tears while his back faces Dave. What do you want? Sorry, I don't talk to lowlifes, so mind shutting up. Tae turns to look at Dave with a hard glare. Watch your mouth, Dave. That's my Lowlife husband, you married for charity. Am I right? Jimin was quick to hold Tae's arm before he could jump on Dave. Come on, Tae, let's go. Not so soon, doll face. I need to talk with your pretty husband about certain things, so. I don't want to talk to you. Come on, Tung. Is this how you are gonna talk with your painting's new owner? That is business. This is personal. So get lost from my sight. You, sure don't want to talk? I insist that we talk. How about we talk while having some tea at my place? Don't deny me, pretty, when you don't have your brother on your side. Especially when the conversation is about something very important to you. Jimin tensed when he saw Tae's jaw clenching. Tae turns to look at Jimin. You go home, Jimin. I will be back soon. I don't think Hyung ate his lunch, so ask Jackson Hyung to make his favorite for dinner. Keep the documents and the money inside the locker. Tae hugs Jimin before pecking his forehead. But I love you. I'll be back soon. You go now. Excuse me, I'm waiting. Tae turns towards Dave and walks with him to his carriage. While a worried Jimin stood there watching Tae get on Dave's carriage. Before the carriage took off, Dave turned to give Jimin a dirty smile from the window. Asshole. Jimin cursed before getting in his carriage, which he and Tae took to come here in the morning. To home. Wait, no. Can you take me to the market, Mr. Brown? Sure, my lord. With Namjin, the duo were still inside the flower shop even after Jin bought the flowers he needed. Jin was deep in his thoughts while staring at the bouquet of carnations in his hands. June sighs, seeing Jin's gloomy before quoting. You know, letting the society take your decisions would never end in gain. Jin snaps out of his thoughts. What? If you are just gonna ignore your true feelings and keep on putting on this act of yours, and that too for the people who don't care about your happiness, you may lose something forever, sir. June didn't forget to rub that sir straight at Jin's face. I don't understand what you are talking about. You sure don't. June chuckles before looking outside the flower shop. Is this place a market or something, sir? It's the town market. Tell me what you were talking about. June looks at Jin before shaking his head. You won't understand even if I told you. You need to have feelings for that. Anyway, sir.
What did he say?
Jin looks at June with wide eyes. Excuse me.
Nani?
Did you just call me a? Can I stroll around the town a bit, sir? No, this. I'll find my way back home on my own, sir. Do you even remember? The place looks. Would you stop cutting me off? And stop calling me sir. But you said, call me that only when we're in public. This is what I was talking about. This what? June looks at Jin. Being a public puppet. Jin was speechless for a second. But before he could reply.
Who are you both goblins arguing inside a flower shop? Can't you two take it out and solve it like men? Cowards.
Both Jin and June gasped at the old lady's remark. Excuse me.
You are excused. Now get out of my way. I need to get flowers for my husband.
Do you know who you are? June grabs Jin's arm to make him stop talking as he mumbled to him. She is blind. Only then Jin noticed the stick in the old lady's hand. Oh my, I'm sorry. June pulls Jin out of the store. Let me go, will you? Oops, sorry, sir, for touching you like. Stop calling me sir, will you? Are you bipolar or something? Cause you're. Shut up! Jin yelled out, which caused the people around them to look at them for a moment. Don't scream. You are acting like a child now. Jin glares at June. You did not just call me a child. I am the most renowned lawyer in this town and one of the biggest VIP around here. How humble. Jin scoffs. Well, I'm gonna take a stroll around the market. No, you are not. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't. I'll give you 3. 1. There are rumors going around that you have casted some kind of spell on me and are planning on looting all our wealth. People from the church would kill you for this alone. too, you have enemies Namjin. You don't remember, but you used to punch everyone that got on your nerves. So the moment you step out here all by yourself, you're so screwed. 3. You don't remember a damn thing about this place, do you? Then, how are you supposed to get back home in one piece, you dumb Jin pants hard after finishing his rant while June stood there processing everything he said. Then how about you come with me? You're joking, right? I got no time. Fine then. Looks like this is my last day breathing. I'm going for a stroll. June, without letting Jin talk, walks into the streets of the busy market. Hey, you, can't just. Why are you acting so immature now? I don't know. You tell me. Jin runs behind June, who walks into the busy market crowd aimlessly. Gosh, I feel like I am possessed by all of Jimin, Tae, and Hobie's spirits combined. Extrovert energy, let's go.
By the power of Grayskull!
June cheers himself as he walks further, knowing well Jin was following him. Wait, why am I doing this? June stops walking. He looks back to find Jin standing there while panting hard. I'm gonna poison you, I swear. Jin yells out as June chuckles, seeing the resemblance of his Jin in him. What would Tae or Jimin do at this moment? June thinks as he looks at Jin, who was glaring hard at him. Oh, look, a brocade shop. June pulls Jin with him to the said store. You don't know who you are pulling around like a ragdoll, Namjuna. Well, who am I pulling around? The town's. Yeah, the town's most renowned lawyer and blah blah blah. Oh, look. Wait, is that your face on the brocade? June was speechless. Told you I am famous around here.
Okay.
Wow, Tae looks so handsome in this. June exclaimed, seeing Tae's picture weaved on another brocade. Only Tae looks handsome. Yeah. How would he not? He is the most handsome man in the world. With that, he goes out of the store as a frustrated Jin follows him out. I asked if Tae was the only one you find handsome. Not if he was the most handsome man in the world. June smirks while looking at Jin. Of course he is the only one I find handsome. Who else could beat his beauty? Jin's whole face turned red in anger along with his ears and neck. But before he could explode. Oh, such beautiful flowers you got. June says when a little boy with a bouquet of red roses comes to him. What do you want, little one? The boy shows his palm where it was written 10 for a rose. You sell these roses? The boy nods and signs something to June which Jin couldn't understand. My apologies, little one, but I don't have a fair lady of my own to give these roses. But I do have a handsome beloved of my own to give these. So would you sell me all these roses? The boy nods before counting his roses. You got 37 roses here, little one. Excuse me for a second, please. June turns towards Jin. Can you give me 370? Jin looks a bit skeptical but still gives him the money. A few seconds later, the little boy waves at June before disappearing into the crowd. Now, June stood there with a bouquet full of roses in his hands. June turns to look at Jin, and only then did he notice that Jin was still holding the bouquet of carnations in his hands. If the handsome beloved you were talking about was Tae, then remember he is married. He is also my brother. You are not giving red roses to my married brother Kim Namjoon. Jin huffed out before scoffing. These aren't for him. Oh my god, is it for Jackson? I knew there was something going on between you. The way he calls you Namjoon and the way you let him cling onto you. I knew you would choose him over me. He and his perfect smile with his perfect personality. Go give him these roses and get married to him. You know what? I'll even officiate your wedding. I'll be the priest. I'll be the flower girl. I'll be the best man. I'll even be your stylist. What kind of wedding do you wish to have, Namjoon? You are blabbering nonsense, Jin. Calm down. It's not Jackson. Don't you dare tell me it's Jungkook. How dare you say you love me and go give your nemesis a bouquet of red roses? When did I say? Did I say I love you before I lost my memory? Jun internally smirks. Jun seals his mouth shut, and he was about to turn away when here. Jun holds out his hand, holding the rose bouquet towards Jin, who had angry tears now in his eyes. For me? Yeah. Jin was about to get the rose bouquet in his hand when he noticed a woman looking at both of them in utter shock. That was also when he noticed that everyone around them is now looking at them.
The lowlife is offering Lord Seokjin flowers. Can you believe it? Yeah, the audacity. See, the rumors are true. The lowlife is practicing witchcraft and has seduced Lord Seokjin. First his brother, now him. This lowlife and the other one should be executed. They always aim for the handsome ones. We should inform the church.
Jin panicked hearing all these murmurs. I see you have a rosary on, and I hear church bells around here. So let me ask you this. Are you religious? Why are you asking? That's a yes, I suppose. 'Cause I would like to quote something here. You know, in the Bible, Proverbs 18:12 says, before his downfall a man's heart is proud. Do you really think all those fights and hurt are worth it? Are you that prideful? You know pride was the first and main reason Lucifer was casted out of heaven. Or are you just letting the words get to you? Words of people who don't wish you happiness over the happiness of people who love you dearly. You're gonna just let all these words into your personal life? Is it worth the pain? Tae's nervous figure and Jimin's teary eyes were playing on repeat in Jin's mind. He remembers the way Tae called him Hyung before he stormed out of the auction house. He remembered all the insults thrown at his brother today and in the past right in front of him. All he did was keep mum and act like he doesn't care while, in reality, all he wanted to do was to scream at everyone who spoke ill about his little brother and his brother-in-law. Was he giving his pride more importance than his brother all this time? He looks back at June, who was still holding the rose bouquet in front of him. I'm sorry. Jun hugs June. The crowd around them gasps. Jun pulls back with a smile before taking the rose bouquet in his hands. Thank you. Jun says with a gentle smile, but his teary eyes told another story. Jun returned the smile before his gaze went to the other bouquet in Jin's hand. Didn't you say you wanted to visit the graveyard? Jin looks down at the carnations. Yes, I did. But, not today. I need to go home. I owe my little brother and my brother-in-law an apology. Jun smiles at that, and to his surprise, Jin holds him by his arm and walks hand in hand towards their carriage. Jun's face turned red at the amount of attention he was getting from the crowd. Some looked like their eyeballs were about to fall out.
Later.
Jun and Jin were looking at each other with a soft smile as they talked about random things. Jin was hugging the rose bouquet like his life depended on it. There was a sudden movement in the carriage which shook them both violently. Apologies, my lord. The wheel is stuck. Can you please get down for a moment if you like? Or you could stay inside while We'll get down, Mr. John. No worries. Jin got out of the carriage, and so did June. Which part of the market is this? Why is it less crowded than the other sides? This is the fruits section where almost all of the fruit stores are. Since it's winter, people here tend to avoid eating most of the fruits since the ones that are sold here aren't that great for the cold weather. I see. What the hell? June screamed out seeing what was happening inside a particular fruit shop which was in front of them. What happened, Juna? June looks at the scene and then at Jin. Jin turns to look at what June was looking at, but before that he was abruptly pulled onto a hug by June, who made sure Jin did not see what he sees. Nothing. Absolutely nothing happened. The scene he saw was his sweet little Jimin, who is apparently Tae's husband in here, being kissed by a particular person, who was probably the owner of the fruit shop where he and Jimin stood. But what almost gave Namjin a heart attack was that the particular person was none other than
되고 오히려 더 좋아 보여 pretty woman.
Amen. Amen. To be continued.
Thank you for watching. See you in next video. Until then, bye darlings.
Okay, bye bye.